Welcome to Hater Proof, a podcast for self-improvement and good listening parts. You're tuned in to shake the haters off and be truthful to ourselves. Remember to stay hater proof and stay tuned. If you are a hater, exit immediately. Shake it off, vigorously and intentionally, and also wisely. Proof is in the pudding. This podcast, distributing hater-proof audio content via the internet, is dedicated to self-improvement, current news' headline, and the host's personal touch on how, why to get and remain hater-proof. It is not for the haters. You'll find these episode titles are also hater-proof traits, and they will describe you if you aren't a hater. This podcast is an after-hours extension of Hearth Business. Hearth Business provides dynamic and timeless administrative solutions. It's part of the nonprofit and health and wellness division. Are you a boss? No, I mean really though. Do you have what it takes to take charge? Many think they do, but that is not always the case. The term bossed up has multiple meanings, including owning power. It can mean to own your power, know your worth, and take charge of your destiny. It can also mean to rise up and dare to overcome obstacles in the face of injustice. The term bossed up is rooted in the history of hip-hop and the struggle for equality faced by Black people in America. Bossed up can also refer to the energy of wanting to impress a new boss by showing your value and what you can do for the team. Whether you're an actual boss or not, being hater-proof means you're a motherfucking boss. This is Bossed Up. Enjoy the episode. Hater-proof is on Apple, Acast, Pocket Cast, and Spotify is the podcast host currently. So it's published on Spotify firstly, then you can listen on the other platforms shortly thereafter. Hater-proof is in your friendly neighborhood search engine, and so is Hearth Business. We're getting optimized, people. www.hearthbusiness.com or type Linktree at Hearth Business in your search bar. That's right. Put it in your browser and stroke it. Keystrokes, that is. The following are headlines, and a little bit of overview from the headlines. These are not my opinions unless I actually speak to my opinion on the matter. Currents in the headlines. Alternative headlines. NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore reports strange noise coming from Boeing's Starliner spacecraft. Video. Mission Control at Johnson Space Center, Houston likens the sound to a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping. On Saturday, August 31st, NASA astronaut Butch Wilmore noticed something weird inside the Starliner spacecraft. Wilmore radioed down to Mission Control to ask about the bizarre noises heard emanating from Starliner speakers while the spacecraft is currently docked to ISS. Due to the complex audio system on the ISS, where multiple spacecraft and modules are interconnected, experiencing noise and feedback is normal, according to NASA. The crew hears sounds from the communication system. They are asked to contact Mission Control. And ISS stands for International Space Station. Starliner launched on June 5th for its first ever crewed mission, transporting NASA astronauts Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore to the ISS. The capsule successfully docked on June 6th. Although the mission was initially expected to last around 10 days, NASA and Boeing extended the capsule stay in orbit multiple times as they investigate a thruster issue. Just think that all the things that could go wrong, that doesn't, and they have to make sure they know the sounds are going that are going on too. Elon is planning to send an unmanned spacecraft within a couple of years, so we have to make sure we cover all the aspects of safety when going to the outer spaces and such. And this headline I wanted to include on this episode because we are nearing some advancements toward being able to have civilizations on other planets, and yeah, it's something to think about. Second headline I have is, if you want to know who won the debate, watch Fox News the moment it ended. Tuning into Fox News following Tuesday's presidential debate, it was hard to describe the mood. Somber comes to mind, a little like you might find at a funeral, perhaps for a beloved cat consumed by a political boogeyman. Soon, a string of Fox News friendly faces was called upon. Looking beaten down, host Sean Hannity insisted that the biggest loser in the debate was ABC, bashing the network's journalists David Moore and Lindsay Davis as far-left moderators. Speaking with the air of someone just grateful to be invited on television, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. complained about the evident bias of the moderators who were fact-checking constantly trivialities by President Trump. When Trump did eventually find his way over to Hannity's set for the TV equivalent of a post-game opening message. He complained it had been 3-1, but still insisted it had been his best debate ever. Visibly sweating and with his hair disheveled, however, he hardly sounded. I think he was victorious. I actually took notes on the debate, and I feel that Trump won that debate. You know, in my unbiased opinion, I think that he did win that debate in every area as far as beginning, middle, and end. I think he did trump Harris in that debate because I feel like she could have came a lot stronger than she did. I mean, that was the opportunity for both sides to, you know, pummel each other basically on why, you know, with their arguments on why they would be a better president. And, you know, with all the news going on and everybody in media, you know, have their opinions and their fact checking and all this, and that was their moment to basically, you know, bash each other right there personally with no audience. And I felt like Harris should have did a lot better than she did. So I feel like Harris doesn't even want the presidency, or maybe, I don't know, she's just comfortable with, you know, being basic and mundane. In sports, Tyreek Hill joins agent in calling for officer involved in incident to be fired. Tyreek Hill was officially cited for speeding at a visual estimation of 60 miles per hour and for not wearing his seatbelt when he was pulled over on Sunday. Hill released a statement through his attorneys on Tuesday night calling for the immediate termination of the officer who was placed on administrative leave. That officer, Hill's attorney said, placed his hands on or around Hill's neck multiple times and continued his escalation in his use of force, even when Hill warned him about his knee injury. Hill and his teammate Calais Campbell were both detained briefly ahead of the Dolphins' win over the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday, though both played in the game as scheduled. Campbell stopped to attempt to de-escalate the situation. So this is making headlines, I guess. You know, it's because it's just another one of those incidents where a black person is pulled over. And in this case, it was a football player actually going to play in a game or wherever they were going. Really doesn't matter because it was unfair treatment by the officer, as the headline notes that they want him to be fired instead of just on administrative leave. Second headline, Vikings LB says team felt a little bad for Daniel Jones in season opening pummeling of Giants. The New York Giants, particularly quarterback Daniel Jones, took all kinds of hits in a season opening blowout against the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, so much so that some on the Vikings sideline apparently felt bad for the passer. Some wondered if the team would move on last offseason after a disastrous 2023 season, but the Giants opted against drafting another quarterback with 2024's 6th overall pick, instead giving Jones a new weapon in wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Moving away from Jones' 4-year, $160 million contract signed in March 2023 was all but impossible last offseason. It won't be so hard next spring when cutting him would save the team $19.4 million in cap space with $22.2 million in dead money per over the cap. Also, Alabama versus Wisconsin is Saturday at noon Eastern Time, and Bills versus Dolphins tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and I will be watching that because I was a Bills fan for whatever reason a while ago, so I'll be watching that tonight. And that's tonight, Bills versus Dolphins. Esports. Seton Hall Esports announced its fall's 2024 season schedule. Seton Hall Esports has released its official schedule for Rocket League, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, League of Legends, and Overwatch 2 varsity teams. This season marks an exciting new chapter with the Pirates' transition to Playfly College Esports, the premier collegiate esports league that builds upon the legacy of the Collegiate Start League. With weekly broadcasts, over $150,000 in scholarships, and an annual LAN event, this season promises top-tier competition and national exposure for Seton Hall's esports athletes. In addition to competing in Playfly College Esports, Seton Hall is proud to join the Garden State Esports Collegiate Circuit, further integrating into New Jersey's esports community and strengthening local ties. Fans can cheer on the Pirates throughout the season and expect to see standout performances as the teams compete at the highest level. Top 5 game releases in September 2024. Make sure to grab these games. September is a thrilling month in 2024 for gaming fans, as there are many great upcoming game releases. Additionally, the month also sees the return of various franchises that were largely anticipated by fans. God of War Ragnarok platform, PC via Steam, will be released on September 19, 2024. Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2 platform, PC, Xbox Series XS, and PS5, released on September 9, 2024. Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown platforms, PC, Xbox Series XS, and PS5 5 with release date of September 12th, 2024. Frostpunk 2 platforms PC, Xbox Series XS, and PS5 set to be released on September 20th, 2024. The Casting of Frank Stone platforms PC, Xbox Series XS, and PC5 releases on September 3rd, 2024. Next headline, The Haunting returns. Full Season 6 reveal. Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 3, Call of Duty Warzone, and Call of Duty Warzone Mobile. The Haunting returns and it's more terrifying than ever, introducing a horrific cast of operators alongside the new drive-through multiplayer map and 6 new map variants, the Anything Goes, Purgatory limited time mode, free rift runs, and zombies, plus new weapons, aftermarket parts, a frighteningly epic battle pass, and more. There's a chill in the air, and evil looms over everything. The Haunting returns in Season 6 of Call of Duty and is back for revenge. Appease your late-night horror binge by swinging through the new drive-through multiplayer map and wading through the horrors of the Mad Cow map variant. Explore macabre backdrops as Call of Duty Warzone introduces the Hellspawn along with the return of Vondel Knight, and take on the Horde and zombies with free rift runs and double schematic recovery throughout Season 6. Satisfy your sweet tooth and take your enemies candy in the Trick or Treat Candy Hunt event, available across all modes. And make sure to cash in your sweets for access to some killer rewards. This season sets the scene for some truly gruesome action, featuring cameos from horror film icon Michael Myers as a playable operator, plus a slew of formidable store offerings, including Zombie Slayer Daryl Dixon of AMC's The Walking Dead, Trick or Treat Sam, A Smile 2 Cursed Valeria and Makarov, and Eerie Art the Clown from the Terrifier, and more. World Series Warzone 2024 Global Finals. September 14th, 2024 to September 15th, 2024, Las Vegas, United States of America. Day 1, 40 teams, 6 maps. Teams will receive ranking points that will carry over to Day 2. At the end of the game day, all players will play in a solo match where the winner will receive $50,000. Day 2, 40 teams, no map limit. In the end, the team that accumulates a certain number of points becomes the winner of the map, achieves victory. The final position of the remaining teams is determined by the number of points they score in the standings. That is going to be litty lit. Financial. CD rates today, September 11, 2024. If you want to build your savings and don't mind locking your money away for a set period of time to earn a higher interest rate than a typical savings account, or certificate of deposit CD might be a good option. Currently, CD rates are near their highest points in recent years, with many offering annual percentage yields, APY, above 5%. CD rates are influenced by various factors, including the term length. Longer terms often provide higher rates. Deposit amount. Some CDs offer tiered rates, Federal Reserve interest rates, and promotional offers from financial institutions. CD rates today earn up to 5.25%. Here are a few institutions and their CD rates. Citibank with the lowest rate at 4.81%, 3-month term length, and $500 minimum opening deposit. Basque Bank, 4.90% CD rate, 12 months term length, $1,000 minimum opening deposit. Merchants Bank of India, 5.25% CD rate, 12-month term length, $1,000 minimum opening deposit. And this is just from the list of banks that I had. So there could be more different rates, but I think the highest CD rate available is 5.25%. So it's a very good option, especially now. Second headline, good news for mortgage rates as inflation softens. Today's mortgage rate, September 11, 2024. New data show inflation is at its lowest level since early 2021. Mortgage rates should continue to improve for home buyers. The average for a 30-year fixed mortgage is 6.30% today, a decrease of 0.13% from 7 days ago. The average rate for a 15-year fixed mortgage is 5.64%, which is a decrease of 0.23% since last week. With inflation at its lowest level since spring 2021 and a weakening labor market, the Federal Reserve is set to make its first interest rate cut in September, which is this month. It should help mortgage rates fall in the coming months. Also to note, they are set to cut rates twice more this year. Generally speaking, bad news for the economy means good news for mortgage rates. Though prospective home buyers are starting to emerge from the sidelines, it will take more than lower mortgage rates to repair today's unaffordable housing market. Third headline, 7 tips to retire comfortably with just $500K in savings. One general rule of thumb for how much you may need to save for retirement is a broad target of $1 million. Another is to have 10 times your average salary saved by age 65 and spend no more than 4% of that per year. Rules of thumb, though, are not one size fits all. How much you actually need depends on how many different factors, including your yearly income, standard of living, and what kind of expenses you'll have when it comes time to retire. Here are 7 tips. No winging it. I laughed at this because I'm being reminded of my food truck I had when I was young a lot recently called Winging It, and I kind of missed it. But it just means no guesswork. Second tip, develop a formal strategy. That includes coming up with a budget, factoring in Social Security and your expected expenses, and identifying ways of bringing in more income while spending less. Consider delaying Social Security. Instead of collecting Social Security as soon as you're eligible at 62. Learn about Medicare. It's well worth it to do your research and understand the different parts of Medicare going into retirement in order to make the most strategic and educated plan choice when the time comes. Pay off debt. Keep working. Considering a soft retirement that still involves some part-time work. Be an opportunity detective. From finding new ways to save money and spend less to seeking out fun things to do for free. In investing, I'll point out that this information is from a popular source. I'm only informing of investing opportunities. I am not your financial advisor. Also, these are numbers from today. Nvidia current is $12.52 and $118.70, which is up $1.11 from last episode. Microsoft current is $12.41 at $421.34. It's up $8.02. Amazon current is $12.43. Was at $185.08 per share. It's up $12.96 from last episode. Apple's current as of $12.49 was at $221.90, which is down $7.89 from last episode. Tesla current as $12.50 today was at $228.44 per share, which is up $14.46 from last episode. Google or Alphabet at $12.52 today was at $153.82, which is down $7.96 from last episode. And Meta current as of $12.55 today is at $520.92 a share, which is down $2.70 from last episode. So it's looking pretty good. I don't know, it's a stock market. What do you expect? It goes up and down, but it looks all good to me. I've been hearing that there's some crashing of the stock market that is expected, but I don't think so. So moving on to art and entertainment. Trump biopic The Apprentice gets U.S. release date. The movie, which stars Sebastian Stan as the young Donald J. Trump, is scheduled to hit theaters on October 11th ahead of the presidential election. The movie is scheduled to be released on October 11th ahead of the November 5th presidential election by Briarcliff Entertainment, a distributor founded by Tom Ortenberg, who was a producer on Spotlight and W. Several studios in Hollywood, including Focus Features, Sony, Searchlight, Netflix, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Amazon's Prime Video, and A24 declined to pick up the film, with some worrying that audiences on both sides of the political spectrum might find some reasons to avoid it. Then Mr. Ortenberg, who has a history of championing polarizing fare, including Michael Moore's Fahrenheit 9/11, stepped into the fray. So that should be nice. That should be nice to watch. I want to watch that. I'd like to see it. Second headline, Jay-Z defended by Fat Joe, Fabulous, and more over Super Bowl backlash. Jay-Z has come under fire in recent days over next year's Super Bowl halftime show, but he also has his fair share of supporters in his corner. The announcement that Kendrick Lamar will perform at Super Bowl 59 in New Orleans next February has been met with outrage among many Lil Wayne fans and even peers who feel that Weezy should have been given the gig, considering the big game takes place in his hometown. Speaking on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne the God also weighed in on the debate and shut down the narrative that Jay-Z intentionally denied Lil Wayne the Super Bowl halftime show, as Nicki Minaj has suggested in an explosive social media rant. Non-profit. Thawing permafrost is an existential threat for Alaska communities. This nonprofit is trying to help monitor it. Foss is the liaison for the Permafrost Pathways Project in her hometown of Akiak. Scientists from the nonprofit joined Foss last month to measure the erosion along the bank using high-resolution GPS, so they can keep track of how much land is melting away into the river. They can also use the data to map where it's likely to erode further, which can help the community know if homes or other infrastructure are in danger. The Permafrost Pathways team is doing work like this across multiple Alaska communities where permafrost thaw is causing big problems. Houses and roads are sinking to the ground. Riverbanks like in Akiak are disintegrating. Permafrost Pathways pathways started 2 years ago with the goal of mapping the permafrost thaw, putting that data into the hands of the communities themselves. As human-caused climate change continues to warm the region and the permafrost melts more and more, the project is expanding. Permafrost Pathways is funded through the TED Audacious Project, a philanthropic program that is housed by the organization that does TED Talks. Natalie said Permafrost Pathways scientists will continue their work, but she hopes the federal government will also step up and provide more comprehensive support to communities most vulnerable to climate change. Trump considers Elon for role in auditing U.S. agencies. Trump is reportedly eyeing a plan to involve prominent business executives, including Elon, in auditing federal agencies to identify programs to cut. Elon has already shown interest in taking on the role. I saw this headline and it wasn't, I don't know if you could say it's a credible news source, but it is a news source. So there's that. And it's 100% believable, to me anyway. Health and wellness. Headline: 2024 Atlanta Black Men's Wellness Day aims to save lives through free health screenings. The goal is to get as many black men as possible to participate in free on-site health screenings. The African American Male Wellness Agency recently announced its annual Atlanta Black Men's Wellness Day on Saturday, September 14th at 7 a.m. at Morehouse College Public Health Sciences Institute, 830 Westview Drive, Southwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30314. Last year, Black Men's Wellness Day attracted over 1,500 people who received free health screenings and participated in the festivities. Morehouse School of Medicine is returning this year as a partner to conduct the health screenings. Bravo. If you're a black male in Atlanta, get there to get you some free health screening and participate in the festivities, whatever those are. But mainly the free health screening. Upcoming holidays. Yesterday was September 11th, 2024, and it was Patriot Day. We reflected on the devastating 9/11 terror attacks that took nearly 3,000 lives, and also thanks is due to the first responders then and now because they are essential to our lives. With that being said, it is National Preparedness Month. Plan and prepare for disasters as a community. The 5 mission areas are prevention, protection, mitigation, response, and recovery. Today, September 12, 2024, is National Video Game Day, and I'm definitely into it. Are You Okay Day, where we can make sure those around us and ourselves are seen, heard, and understood. National Chocolate Milkshake Day is today, and it sounds yummy. You should celebrate National Policewomen Day today. That is definitely celebratory. For all you snitches out there, it's National Report Medicare Fraud Day. Let us not forget National School Picture Day, so make sure you got on your Sunday's best and put on a nice big smile. Pose for the camera. September 15, 2024 is Onam. Onam is a Hindu festival that is celebrated in the state of Kerala in India. It is a 10-day harvest festival that usually takes place between August and September on the Gregorian calendar. Onam is celebrated to commemorate the homecoming of the legendary King Mahabali, Vamana avatar of Vishnu and other Hindu mythologies. It's also first day of Hispanic Heritage Month. September 16, 2024 is the Prophet's birthday, tentative a Muslim holiday. Tomorrow, celebrate if you can the following holidays: National Peanut Day, Bald is Beautiful Day, European Heritage Days, Defy Superstition Day, celebrate that as much as possible, International Chocolate Day, National Blame Someone Else Day. I'm not sure if that's worth celebrating, but have at it if you can. National Hug Your Boss Day. You know they need a hug. National Twilighters Day. I did like that show. And it's Positive Thinking Day tomorrow, which is definitely worth celebrating. I mean, spread the good, positive vibes. Hello. Make sure to celebrate responsibly and accordingly if a holiday is one that you want to celebrate. Observing holidays, celebrating holidays. Happy holidays. Word up. Fault. An unattractive or unsatisfactory feature, especially in a piece of work or in a person's character. If you hate me, it's probably not my fault. And it's definitely your fault that you're a hater. Fault. What does this mean? This means that I'm not purposefully making haters hate. One normally doesn't do anything intentionally to bring on the hate. However, once noticed, then one might go ahead and let a hater know that they can still prosper even with all the hate that they give. And also take a short walk off a long cliff and hope the ground catches you. Conspiracy or nah? The Democratic Party has been getting a lot of flack during this election, such as they have a plot to undermine the United States for their own personal gain. It seems it has always been the notion about the government, but this election seems to have more of a conspiratorial nature to it. It would definitely be harmful to to this country for any president to not have its best interests at heart. The last 4 years has been kind of eye-opening for a lot of DEI opportunities, and many are definitely taking advantage of it. But seriously though, conspiracy or nah? Facts or opinion? You can't just let anyone be a superior. Some just aren't good at being leaders. Is this facts or just my opinion? G and God. Have you ever paid tithes? I wonder who the quote-unquote church organizations pay their tithes to. Surely they don't think that they don't have to pay tithes, huh? I just think it's awesome that the one that is almighty found a way that everybody can eat. And yet still there are those that want to hog all of the resources. You are the weakest link. Paying tithes is so awesome, and I'm glad there's a being that thought of it. So pay your tithes. And as a reminder, I do accept tithes via Heart Business Nonprofit Division. There's a link on my link tree. Well, there's links on my link tree. So you can go on there and make your donation. And it's tax deductible. Solid. Owning a business isn't as easy as some make it look. It has become easier though because there are those who are about businesses. That's being about business for business, like yours truly. I am one that is business for business. I stand on business. Being a business owner, especially self-employed, is an incredible opportunity to be bossed up, but it isn't for everybody. Solid to the business owners that are true leaders. BBW. Byron Donalds, a U.S. representative from Florida, remains an influential figure in Republican politics, supporting Donald Trump's campaign while also discussing the growing support for Trump among black male voters. This is controversial because black folks usually vote Democratic, and I honestly believe Trump has a chance of winning, especially since so many of the black community are leaning towards Republican. Blacks have always been on the side of what's right, even if it doesn't seem or look right. That is exactly what voting Republican is for the black community, or for any community for that matter, as being black and winning. To note, this day in history, 1913, track and field athletic legend Jesse Owens is born on this day in Oakville, Alabama. Owens would achieve international fame when he won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Summer Olympic Games in Berlin, Germany. His feat helped undermine Adolf's myth of Aryan or white superiority. This day in history, 1977, one of the greatest unsung heroes of the struggle against then white-ruled South Africa's system of racial suppression, known as apartheid, is murdered on this day by a South African law enforcement official. Steve Biko was a leader of the country's black consciousness movement. He believed that one of the most destructive attitudes undermining black progress throughout the world was that blacks were not truly proud to be black. This day in history, 1992, Dr. Mae Jemison becomes the first African-American woman in space when she was launched from the Kennedy Space Center on this day as part of a joint U.S.-Japanese mission. Since resigning from NASA, the multi-talented Jemison has started a company which aims to improve healthcare in Africa. In addition to her native English, Jemison speaks Russian, Japanese, and the East African language of Swahili. I'll take some time here to say R.I.P. to James Earl Jones and Frankie Beverly, 2 prominent figures in the black community that made substantial impacts in our culture. And R.I.P. to Tupac, who was shot on September 7th in 1996. My 2 cents. Trump trumped Harris at the debate in the beginning, middle, and in closing. I say this because I took unbiased notes and came to the conclusion that he is a better debater. He stayed on the main reason they were there, who is the better president for this country, and he was very confident, I believe him, in implementing his plans. My 2nd sense, you should let God know that you don't want to pay tithes and stop coming at others like they owe you something. B.R.R.H. No kisses today, so no Hershey today. But don't fret, Burr is here with a poem for you. Pick me up if you real enough. Let me down if you through. Color me bad if it suits you. Just don't lie about who I am, who I was, and who I could be. Be strategic in this boss fight called life. Keep your head high and remain bossed up. Don't mind the haters, shake it off. They sometimes do know what they do and are not just innocent bystanders. Nevertheless, you have to move on regardless of what happens around you. Keep going because you can only do what you can do and no more. I advise to subscribe YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, TikTok, and even Pinterest, Reddit, that I finished up the 30 days of health and wellness content. It's been interesting to say the least because health and wellness is important in our everyday lives. So I'll be doing one piece of content every week that I'm not publishing the weeks that I'm publishing episodes for the podcast, I'll create one piece of content, publish it on the platforms, and then the alternate weeks, I think I'll do one piece of content every day. So no more 30 days, but I'll still definitely be posting content. I'll be creating content pieces for my digital content creation. That's admin support. Hello, get a backbone. With that being said, my link tree will link you to some healthy experiences. Subscribe, like, and comment, and take advantage of the engaging opportunities. Podcast Facebook page is fb.me/still-hater-proof. This is the end, my friend. Thanks for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this show. Be good, be encouraged, and always party responsibly. Thanks again. Listen again, and stay hater-proof. Till the next episode. To the next episode.